It's the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on Cool Gold 1460. Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores in Baraboo, Black River Falls, and Toma. By Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, and 3rd Street, downtown La Crosse. By Dean Satellite and Security, your local DirecTV retailer. By the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. By Dell's Raceway Park in Wisconsin Dells. By Weir's Machine and Racing Products in Bangor, Wisconsin. And by JT Longshots Grill and Saloon in historic downtown West Salem. Now here's Doc and Dan with today's report.
All right, fans, welcome in. It's Saturday, and it's going to be gorgeous, and we're going to go racing tonight all over a 3-state radius. I'm Dan Dyker. Welcome into the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report on AM 1460 WBOG. Want to welcome those folks listening online and the TuneIn app.
Love that TuneIn app.
All the way from some scumbag fest called Rockfest. Billy Doc Niles has stepped away from the studio. And he's going to be up somewhere in Wisconsin watching a bunch of wannabe rock bands. What's going on, brother?
Dude, you were just here 2 days ago. You had your juggalo going on with the Insane Clown Posse. You know what it's like up here. This is insane. What a great weekend. I've had a blast. I love my racing brethren, but man, I got to get away some weekends and do something like this. And this is just phenomenal. I love this place. I love coming here every year, and it's just a great, relaxing weekend for me.
All right, so let's get it out of the way right now. Who are you going to see at Rockfest tonight?
Well, tonight the headliner is Rob Zombie, which I've never seen before. The wife is giddy because we're getting to see Shinedown for about the millionth time. And, somebody like, hell yeah, I've only seen once. I'm looking forward to seeing them. 1,000 Foot Crutch, I've never seen them. And I've just did lots of good bands. Unfortunately, Seven Dust canceled tonight, so Adam, what's his name, who's the lead singer from another band, is taking their place. Sorry, I'm kind of spouting stuff off the top of my head because I have no notes in front of me. But still, it's going to be a great night tonight. It's been a great 3 days here so far, and this is the 4th day. So, I couldn't imagine a better weekend than what we're having out here right now.
Juggalos are no comparison to that crap you're about to see tonight, except for Rob Zombie.
Well, the crap you saw Thursday night, Insane Clown Posse, I was glad I was standing outside the tent. What a freak show.
Hey, want to talk about a great show?
I can't believe you went. I can't believe you went in the crowd. What a goof you are.
Hey, I roll like that.
And by the way, I still can't believe you have a voice left after doing that Thursday night and doing street drags last night. Dude, you're a champ.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Lori wouldn't have hoarded the makeup, I could have done my face up and really joined the Juggalos, but I had to go bare-skinned. I roughed it, man.
Oh, and by the way, I did get to see a Kiss tribute band this weekend. They were phenomenal, called Kissing Time. If you get to see them, check them out. They were great.
Paul Reichert joining us in studio. Billy Doc Niles up at Rockfest on the phone line. Hey, talk about a great show, Billy Doc Niles. How about an 8-year drought is over for Matt Henderson?
I'm really happy for my buddy Matt. I think the last time he won a race, he passed me on like the 6th lap on his way to a win 8 years ago. So I'm really happy to see. It's been a long time. I don't think he expected an 8-year drought because, man, the late zeros and the early teens, it looked like he was one of the ones that were on the rise, and then he just hit a big drought. So, I can't imagine a nicer guy than Hollywood Henderson going out and getting a feature win last week and holding off Brad Powell them last 2 laps. What a great race that was. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you get to YouTube and check out them last 10 laps. What a great time that was. By the way, if you can hear it in the background, that's one of the opening acts right there. I apologize for the noise. I just can't really find a quiet spot in the area here.
Talking about that top 3 from last week, and it was Matt Henderson, it was Brad Powell, Jeremy Wagner. Here is the top 3 from the racetrack last weekend.
3rd place finish tonight. How about a Jeremy Wagner? Nice job, man.
Thanks. Thanks.
This guy, I tell you what a night. The owner of your main sponsor, Mark's up here from California with Paz Ingredients. What a night for Jeremy Wagner.
Yeah, you got to get Mark out here more often. We have good luck when he's out here. That was a good run. Congratulations, Matt. He got in front of me there and good racing. And once Brad got around me, I thought I had a right front going down, so I took it easy for a couple laps, but then it felt good again, so then we were able to go. But pretty good night for the 18.
Tell you what, this has to be one of the best nights you've had here at the La Crosse Speedway in quite a while. It's got to feel great.
Yeah, I believe last year Mark comes out one time a year. We won our heat, and we finished third in the feature that night.
So I think his Paz Ingredients owner Mark's going to be getting an apartment here in La Crosse. How about a Jeremy Wagner?
Should stay right here for the camera.
All right, second place tonight had a formidable finish as well. Giving the back end of the 33 fits all night long. Celebratory handshakes. How about it for BP Brad Powell? Wow, first time in a while I've seen you come out of your car sweating, man. What a race that was between Henderson in the front and Wagner in the back.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun.
You like races like this, don't you?
Oh yeah, that's why we race.
27 cars, good field tonight. Talk about what it took to get through to get to the front.
Just patient and making the right moves.
Track worked out for you?
It started out, then after the caution, my car got really, really free. So I couldn't get off the same as I was earlier. So I don't know, I just did what I could do.
How about a second place tonight for Brad Powell? It's been a long time coming for this guy right here. A lot of trials, a lot of tribulations. Feature race winner, Matt Henderson. Good job, brother man. Talked to you during the pre-race. You told me tonight that you had a top 3 car, possibly a feature race winning car. Talk about reality.
Well, the car, I don't know, man. This is just crazy. The car was not very good. You could probably tell coming out of 4 sideways about after that caution, the car got really tight. So I had a bunch of wheel into it, and then it snapped loose on me, and I knew Brad was there, and so I got to thank him for not wrecking me, because he was right there. He could have bumped me out of the way, and this would have been a different story. But all the hard work that's gone into this car, anyways, both cars, over the winter, and I just got to thank my wife for letting me do this. My mom,
Glad you know.
my lovely wife back here, my parents. It's a lot of sacrifice when I got 2 little kids at home, and they all put up with it. And that's what this is for right here. This is for them.
Tell you what, you have the never give up spirit, Matt. You lost 3 motors over a season and a half. You had to start this year with your backup car. Your new car was not ready, and it paid off. You won your first feature in a long time.
Yeah, I think 2009 was the last one. I think the last feature we won was July 4th. I dedicated that one to my grandpa, and my Uncle Roger passed away this week. So this one's for him. Right before the race, I prayed for a little help from him, and I think he helped me out. So just got to thank all the fans, and it's a long time coming. Hopefully we can get back up here this year.
How about a feature race winner, Matt Henderson? Nice job, brother man.
And again, congratulations, Matt Henderson, Brad Powell, and Jeremy Wagner. You know, Paul and I were talking on the TV show. Talk about some streaks being broken, Billy Docknells. How about Steve Bachman?
Bachman, it's about time he got a feature win. All the bad luck he has had this year. I mean, if anybody could be in the wrong place at the wrong time, if their name wasn't Hesselberg or Niles, their name was Bachman. And they definitely, if there was an accident to be found, an engine to be blown, he was in it. So it was great to see Steve Bachman finally break out of the doldrums, get a feature win. Now just Hesselberg, we thought he was going to end his season, Saturday night with a couple of spins, but he ended up finishing out. Now we got to see Hesselberg and Niles, see if they're going to turn their seasons around, because this sportsman class is full of talent. I mean, it's not the biggest field in the world, 16, 18 cars, but it's got unbelievable talent in it. And when they're all on their game, this is going to be a fun class to watch.
And how about Ryan Brown? From Computer Simulator to Victory Lane.
That was so cool. I mean, 3,000 people in the stands. What better time to win your very first race than right there in front of 3,000 people? A guy who had never, ever raced anything in his life other than iRacing or Xbox goes out and pretty much, what a sweet move on Jonathan Eckelberg. He gets underneath him, gets by him, and then drives away. So congratulations to Ryan Brown on his first and hopefully many, many more wins.
And, of course, Adam Moore has now got the three-peat. Gee, we've never seen that happen before.
Thunderstocks have been one of the toughest classes around to win. I mean, generally they got 10 to 12 feature winners every year. To win 2 in a row is an accomplishment. To win 3 in a row, that is downright nasty. He's got some nasty speed in that car, and he is he's definitely on his way to another track championship this year.
Alrighty, Billy Knocknells, we're going to let you go Rock Fest, even though that could be an ugly, ugly vision in my mind right now.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said there, Dan, but I appreciate you even getting me on for a few minutes. It was great seeing you Thursday night, and we'll be back in studio next week, buddy. You have a good time tonight.
Well, as usual, I slammed you, so it's good you didn't hear what I said. That's Billy Knocknells Rock Festing. He'll be back with us in studio next week. When we come back, we're going to talk vintage series. It's moldy time on the program. That is the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report.
Are you looking for comfort under the sun? You can find that and a whole lot more with your stay at the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. The Days Inn has 148 spacious rooms, an indoor pool, hot tub, fitness room, and plenty of banquet space to host that big meeting or wedding reception. If you're hungry, food and drink are just steps away at the Heroes Bar and Grill inside the hotel. So if you're planning a pool party, wedding reception, or just want a night away in a jacuzzi suite, Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island is your stop under the sun.
For the best family entertainment value in the Dells area, look no further than Dells Raceway Park. Kids 9 and under are always free. Exciting stock car racing every Saturday night, where the stars of tomorrow are racing today in late models, modified, sportsman, bandits, and more. Check the schedule online at DellsRacewayPark.com. Take a free tour of the pits and a lap around the track on race night in DRP's trolley car. Gates open at 4, qualifying at 5:30, green flag racing at 7. Don't miss the excitement every Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park. We're the best in the Midwest race.
In a hurry, it's easy to stop. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. You're gonna like the things we've got. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. It's easy to see when you're on the go. There's only one name you need to know.
Baraboo, Black River Falls, Nakusa, Toma, Wittenberg.
Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop.
It's Team Dean time as the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report continues on Cool Gold 1460.
Welcome back to the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report here on 1460 Cool Gold WBOG. Got Moldy Moldenhauer is going to be joining us in the program now. One of the originators this year of the Upper Midwest Vintage Racing Series. How you been, my friend?
Doing good.
Good to have you on the program. First time I think we've ever had you on the program, because Kenny has joined us in the past.
Kenny is the legend, so it's only appropriate that he takes over most of this stuff.
Wait a minute, which legend? Because there's Lewis and there's Hutchins.
Now, that's true. Even though, let's see, Lewis would have been I'm going to drive an Outlaw in a 69 Camaro with dirt tires on it, which didn't work too well for him. And then most people are going to realize that he had the Hooters car, even though he doesn't have a Hooters car this year.
He does not.
Well, he's got that beautiful-looking trickle replica
this year. Yes, he does. Yep. He's got that white 99.
So you guys are going to be coming out and playing outside of Oktoberfest this year. Next weekend, July 15th, it's one of the most exciting series that I like to announce. And when I say that, people are like, well, you know, it's not a NASCAR late model. It's not bumping and grinding on the action track quarter mile. I like doing it because you're different. You're not a weekly program, and not a single car is alike.
No, that's the nice thing, is it's completely different. Everybody's idea of vintage is completely different. We like to put this show on for the fans. It's not for anybody else. Basically, we're a bunch of retired guys, vintage guys out there just having fun, putting on a show.
Coming back to La Crosse, it's got to be neat to come back outside of Oktoberfest. You and I were talking before we went on the program. People love when you're back at Fest. I love Billy Knocknells, the atmosphere on Sunday, fan photo, vintage racing, the racers reunion up in turn number 1, and then they brought back a 200-lap race. It has such a feel of a race done back in the mid-'80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always well received when we come to La Crosse. The fans are great. The track crew, they treat us very well. It's always a good time, and we absolutely love coming back. That's why when we can do it more than Oktoberfest, it's a great deal for us.
One of the things that I really love about the Vintage Series, especially at Oktoberfest, is the throwback cars, because you're looking at Sunday afternoon, the 200-lap race, and you got the Marzovka replica, the Trickle replica, the Refner replica. It's I think there was a Summers replica last year, if I remember correctly. it just takes me back to the 70s watching these cars go around the track, and it just, I'm getting the goosebumps like I got in the TV show again thinking about it. I just love the look of this series.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, no matter what you like on the street, we've probably got it on the track. 74 AMC Matador, a 64 Ford Galaxy, a 1960 Chevy Impala, 77 Dodge Aspen, 88 Monte Carlo, the Javelin, the Tom Ruffner replica.
No, I thought you also have a car that made its appearance a year or two at La Crosse. It's an actual former Mark Martin NASCAR or Busch Series car?
It would be the old ARCA car.
Okay.
Charlie Schwach, yep.
Charlie Schwach.
Yeah, Charlie Schwach.
We had him on the show a couple of years ago.
Still has that. I mean, all the original. I mean, now you want to talk about a throwback that Johnny Gilbertson has with Dick Trickle. We're talking about a car that actually has the original ARCA stickers on it.
That is correct. Yep, and he raced with us over at Plover.
Yeah,
for
he
our
brought
opener.
it to La Crosse a couple of years ago when you did the July race.
As far as I know, he is signed up to be here for the 15th.
Awesome.
I don't remember if that was one of the first interviews you did for me a couple of years ago with Schwach.
That's and I've said this before. Some of these older guys have some of the best interviews because they had some of the greatest stories.
Oh yeah,
like we talked when we did the original talk about how Oktoberfest got started, and they wanted to spend the night, and they went over to barns and pulled siding off the barns and used that for campfires, stuff like that. These guys have some of the best stories, and. I talked with J.J. Meyer last year, and the smile on his face just to be racing at Oktoberfest and having fun. Mm-hmm. That's what these guys all are like this. They're all having fun.
Yeah, I can remember back quite a few years ago now, we had a little fun there in the beer barn after hours, and we were kicking field goals with the trash cans until they took them away from us.
Talking about the smiles, Woody Poole this year at Oktoberfest is going to attempt to win his third straight Oktoberfest, which that kind of a feat in any kind of a car is tough to do. 70-some years old, and he got out of his car last year when I interviewed him on the trailer, and he was smiling like a 10-year-old in a candy store.
He absolutely loves what he does. He's mentioned about hanging it up this year. I'm sure it'll be easier for him to hang up if he three-peats this year. I'd hate to see him go. He's a great guy, great crew, and very easy to be with.
Our boy Paul Reichert is standing here. I got a quick trivia question for you, Paul. Who's the only driver in Oktoberfest history to go 3 years in a row and win?
Oh, you got him thinking. While Paul's thinking, we're going to continually talk to Moldy here. Some drivers you've had that have been synonymous with vintage racing. The Rossiers, I think the whole family is simply outstanding.
Yes.
When you lose them as drivers, but they continually support your series, you're seeing it still the new names coming in, so your car counts are not suffering.
Right, that is correct. Actually, Royce, he ended up passing the car on. Cal Catone ended up buying the number 4 Nova. So they're continuing the legacy with that. And yeah, we started out with 14 cars over at Plover. The last race down to Dells, we had 16. So it's going to be real interesting to find out.
And I want to say you had 14 or 15 when I saw you at Golden Sands.
Yes,
Yeah,
we had 14.
show.
Ken Lewis was actually on his way over, but due to the rain-shortened segment there, he didn't end up making it in time. But we would have had the weather been better, our car count would have been better yet.
I think one of the things I hear from your drivers is it's a nice, easy schedule. It's not a very demanding schedule. What do you got left on your plate this year?
Well, that's one of the things is we talked to the drivers over the winter and find out what they wanted. And it was pretty much unanimous. Most of them wanted one race a month. It's a kickback series. We don't want to work on the cars every week. July 15th, of course, we'll be here at La Crosse. August 25th over at Golden Sands. September 9th at Marshfield. And October 8th for the big Oktoberfest.
Coming up on Monday, watch our Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Facebook radio page. Billy Doc Niles and I are going to put a contest together. And a courtesy of Kenny the Legend Hutchins and Moldy, we're going to give away a pair of tickets not only to get in the La Crosse Speedway for that vintage race now. We're going to give you a pass to the MB2 Raceway Indoor Kart Racing, and I want to thank you for providing the tickets.
Thank you very much for having us here. We sure appreciate coming down and spending some time with you.
See, now, folks, if you want to get in the radio program, you do what Moldy did today. He brought in a 12-pack of beer, a bag of chips, a thing of cheese, and a whole thing of cooked hot dogs. That's how you get front and row center on the radio program.
The fact that he wasn't in the first segment just boggles my mind, Diker. He brought food and beer. Paul Reichert, you got the answer to our question yet?
Joe Shear.
Speak up.
Joe Shear.
There you go, buddy. That's Joe Shear.
Paul wins the trivia contest. You get the rest of our chips and cheese. If you want to find out more information, check out Upper Midwest Vintage Racing Series on Facebook. Add Scott Moldenhauer or Kenny Hutchins. They will be more than glad to add you back, tell you exactly what the series is like, the history, what the future looks like, what the rules look like, and hopefully we can help build that series. Moldy, thanks for coming into the program.
Thanks for having me.
Already the Upper Vintage Midwest Series. I cannot wait to announce these drivers one more time at the La Crosse Speedway.
Come on in. Welcome to JT's Long Shots in West Salem. We're Trisha and Jim.
It's your new sports bar for watching all your favorite sports. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, with $1.75 domestics and rails. For lunch or dinner, the kitchen is open. Half-price burgers on Mondays. Tuesday, it's bone or boneless wings. Fish tacos on Friday. Stop after the races tonight to hear live music. It's Joe Cody from 8 to midnight.
Jim and I'd love to see you at JT's Long Shots Sports Bar, downtown West Salem.
Spring, spring, spring. Now that it's spring, no one wants to sit inside and watch TV with it so beautiful outside. And when you get DirecTV through Dean's Satellite and Security, you don't have to. You can now take your TV with you into the great outdoors with the free mobile app from DirecTV. Going on a picnic? Take your TV with you. Sitting by the lake? Don't miss your favorite show. It's really that simple. Call your local friends at Dean's Satellite and Security today at 608-269-2897 or visit them online at deanstv.com. Now get outside and watch your TV. Content, channels, and functionality varies by TV package, viewing location, and device. Data charges may apply. Conditions apply. Call for details.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Jerry Beyer here, and I'm pleased to announce that we have opened a new location. Now you'll find our Big Boar Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and July Street every Wednesday through Sunday. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout.
And just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
Big Boar Barbecue, that's a mouthful.
Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin. A proud supporter of the local racing, celebrating 20 years in the racing industry. From dirt tracks to asphalt, Weir's Machine manufactures over 400 quality parts that racers rely on to win races, producing some of the finest parts in the industry. From engine parts, tools, suspension parts, to race accessories. Head to Weir'sMachine.com to browse their entire line or call them direct. Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin.
It's Team Dean time as the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report continues on Cool Gold 1460.
Welcome back, race fans. It's the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report here at 1460 WBOG. For those people listening online, welcome. On the TuneIn app, we average about 1,200 listeners a week. We greatly appreciate that. Paul Reichert in the studio with me this week as Billy Doc Niles is fest rocking or something like that somewhere in the state of Wisconsin. If you know segment 3, this is the Team Dean segment. Joining us from Dean Satellite, and he should be in Cedar Rapids right about now. Mr. Drew Krymek joining us also with the Tundra Series. Drew, how are you, my friend?
Doing fantastic. And yourself?
Man, I tell you what, you're putting down some miles on your vehicle like I do on a 3-day basis. Iowa today for you.
Yeah, working with the Midwest Truck Series. It's something that kind of we developed it last year. They follow us around with Tundra for 6 races, and this year John Wood and Zimmy asked me if I wanted to help out a little bit, and so Matt Panier is going to be on the mic, and I'm going to be calling the race from the tower for tonight at Cedar Rapids. I've never been to Hawkeye Downs, and so they say it's a great facility, so I figured might as well get paid to make the trip down there, and they're partnering up racing tonight with the Big Rig, the Bandit Big Rigs or something like that, the full-on semis that race.
Yep, the Bandit Big Rig series, and I've checked them out on Facebook here, and that's a pretty interesting series in their first year here. And Should be a great show here tonight. I actually went to Hawkeye Downs. They did like a quarter-mile challenge way back in 2000 that Mike Belling went down to race at, and they also had like Wayne Anderson from Florida come down there, and it's a pretty nice facility.
Right, yeah. So I'm super excited. I'm just excited to see what semis on a half mile do. I'm just blown away. I guess we'll race anything here in the great country of America.
Yes.
Well, of course, I was going to go watch the semis race at Madison here at the end of the month, and Greg Oliver has to reschedule the Greater Than Sportsman Series at Toma that same night, so I still get to do some announcing, but I get to miss the big rigs. Hey, good Tundra show at La Crosse here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, somehow we managed to get it in. I stopped looking at the radar probably about 4 o'clock when we went practicing, and so I was up in the tower all night. It doesn't rain in the tower. And about halfway through, somebody pulled out their phone and we went, uh-oh. And so we ramrodded the show through. And then Jeff Garbers, our normal race director, came in and said, it's raining. And I said, they'll let me know if it's too bad. And then Chuck came in and afterwards and said, you're pretty lucky, because apparently it was raining all around us. And it somehow, if you looked at the radar, said it should have been raining and downpouring, and somehow managed to hold off for us to get our 50 laps in, as well as the 35 laps for the truck series.
I was done announcing in Madison that night, and I was watching my Snapchats of people that had videos from La Crosse, and what was coming out of turn 3 and 4, I'm like, yep, those guys are going to be over with here, and I kept watching Facebook, and I could not believe you guys got that show in. Hey, I was reading your Tundra notes this week. You guys had a whole lot of firsts going on at La Crosse this time.
Yeah, it's something that I like to do. When I'm going through, I've kept the all-time Tundra stats. Really, since we started, I've been involved with it since 2012, so I only had to go back 1 year that I wasn't there. And just going back through, and you see who has their best career finish, who has who's making their first start, and then just little stats. I guess the first 2 races this year we've broken the track record. Ty Majeski's broken the track record the last 2 times. Guys from Minnesota, I didn't realize that this is only the second time that a driver from Minnesota has actually won a Tundra race in the 6 years that we've been racing. And so, just little things like that. So if you haven't checked it out, go check out our Facebook on Tundra Superlates, or tundrasuperlates.com, and just has some interesting stats when you get done with the night and you sit back and you go, never thought about that, or never even knew that was going on until afterwards, and you look at the record books.
Tell you what, Paul Reichert was there that night sitting in about the second or third row, and Paul, you were telling me you were very impressed with not only the Tundra, but the show the trucks put on. Good combination.
Oh, yeah, they both had good fields, 26, I believe, for the Tundra show, and about 16, 17, 18 for the...
Yeah, 17, I think, for the trucks,
yeah. And that was a great race, even though James Swan got the lead halfway and just ran away with it. But some interesting battles behind him, and I think it was Ross Christensen came home in second.
Yeah, I can't tell the two apart. And the interesting part with that Tundra or the truck series is they're on a new tire this year. They're on an F80 tire, which is a pretty hard tire. And they've tested them at a third mile. They've raced them on smaller tracks. They raced them at Kaukauna, which Kaukauna, it's a big track, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are still pretty tight. It's a lot like Madison in that, right? Yep. Where you're flying into the corner, but you still got to whoa the car down. Or the truck down. La Crosse was the real test for that F80 with long sweeping corners to see. If you're a fan of the race and you weren't just watching the trucks, you watched those trucks and they were slipping and sliding out there. And I told somebody up in the tower, I said, if you're out front, it's probably really fun. If you're in the middle of the pack, I'm not sure that if you were having fun on that tire, because they were skating around and sliding, but Swanee's he's been around the block a few times, and so he understands those F80s. You can't drive it off the right front. You really got to back up your corner and use momentum to not break the traction of those tires. And he showed his classes. He dominated, similar to what Cole Anderson did in the super late race. The race, the leaders were out front, but the battles second, third, fourth, and back were pretty good races.
So what is next on the Tundra schedule?
Next week, we're actually going to Wisconsin's Action Track, the quarter mile at Jefferson. And I know, unfortunately, it's a La Crosse night as well, but if you're in the area and you have never been to Jefferson Speedway, you're missing a state-of-the-art facility. And to watch super late models go around that quarter mile is absolutely incredible. It's that track is one of my favorites. It's flat in 1 and 2, so you want the bottom. 3 and 4 is bank, so you want the top. It's a 1 groove track in each corner, but it's 2 grooves all around. because one corner you want one side, the other corner you want the other. And it's just absolutely fun to watch super late models fly around a quarter mile.
Drew Kramek joining us here. A couple of minutes left in the Team Dean segment on the Whitetail Crossing Community Stores Race Report. We've had a lot of bad rain showers here the past couple of months. I've been watching a lot of people on Facebook whining because their cable went out, because their internet went down, because of the bad weather. I'm not seeing complaints about Dean's satellites, anything with the rain showers.
Right. My satellite hasn't gone out that much here. It's been raining. You have to understand that satellite's how many thousands of miles away?
Right.
100 miles away. I don't even know. But so if it's a little bit off down here, when you get all the way up there, it's off. So, with our professional installations, our guys take the time to make sure that satellite is tuned in perfectly, right dead center. Are things going to happen? Absolutely. The wind has been crazy this year. The storms that have rolled through. If you're in the Holman, Trempealeau, Black River area, you've gotten pounded, I think, every other weekend with nasty storms. And so things move. It's no different. The house moves, trees move, this, that, and the other thing. But at the end of the day, DirecTV still provides the clearest picture quality, 1080p on every single television, and directly from the source, which is right from the satellite itself. And so you're able to, that 4K television, that expensive TV that you bought, flat screen, you want to put the best picture through it, and that is DirecTV.
And real quickly, Drew, we got about a minute left in the program. I've been watching your Exceed speed tests on Facebook that a lot of people may not be seeing right there. The speeds you guys are putting out are phenomenal.
Right, that's Exceed and on our new AT&T wireless network. And so one of the things, a lot of people tell me that AT&T doesn't work in this area, and so that's why I've been posting a lot of those speed tests. I just did one last night. It was 44 megs right here in West Salem. And so, when you look at a Charter that's a 60 meg, or CenturyLink in some areas is max of 10. The AT&T wireless home network, it's basically just a hotspot, is a great option when you bundle it with your DirecTV. You're able to start bundles at $115 a month for 2 years. And so it's not going to jump up that second year. You're able to take advantage of the discount. So it's a great new product. It's something that we're super excited about, and we're just trying to get the word out there that, we have this product available. And then the Exceed that you talked about in the rural areas is a great product, up to 12 to 25 megs. As we look at going back to school, a lot of kids need internet now. So if you're in that rural area and you don't think you can get high-speed internet, think again. Give us a call at Dean's, and we'll be able to hook you up.
Find Drew Krivick on Facebook. Go to deansdish.com for more information as well. Hey, one more question before we let you go. Is Matt Pannier getting paid a separate paycheck from Tundra for between now and the end of the season doing the national anthem?
Man, that is something. Dan, you understand how it works in electronics. I had the level set at 11 o'clock. I got there early. Everything was rocking and rolling, ready to go.
Yep.
And then 7:25 comes and nothing.
Oh, I've been there, man.
So frustrating because that was one of the most prepared we had ever been for a Tundra race, and then that happens. And so, but it is what it is. Matt pulled it off. He's now sung "Oh Canada" and the national anthem at lacrosse.
Coming to a CD near you. It's Matt Pannier sings the national favorite. Ukrainian national anthem is going to be next on his list.
Right, we're going to throw him up on iTunes and see how many downloads we can get.
Drew Krivick with the Tundra Super Late Models, also with Dean Satellite. He is in Iowa for the Midwest Truck Series race tonight. Drew, we appreciate you coming on. Team Dean Satellite sponsors this segment right here, and to make sure you hit deansdish.com for more information. Drew, we will see you shortly, my friend.
Awesome. I appreciate it, guys. We'll see you later.
All righty, Drew Krivick with the Team Dean segment right here in the Whitetail Crossing Community Stores Race Report.
For the best family entertainment value in the Dells area, look no further than Dells Raceway Park. Kids 9 and under are always free. Exciting stock car racing every Saturday night, where the stars of tomorrow are racing today in late models, modified, sportsman, bandits, and more. Check the schedule online at DellsRacewayPark.com. Take a free tour of the pits and a lap around the track on race night in DRP's trolley car. Gates open at 4, qualifying at 5:30, green flag racing at 7. Don't miss the excitement every Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park. We're the best in the Midwest race.
In a hurry, it's easy to stop. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. You're gonna like the things we've got. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. It's easy to see when you're on the go. There's only one name you need to know.
Baraboo, Black River Falls, Nakusa, Toma, Wittenberg.
Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop.
Come on in. Welcome to JT's Long Shots in West Salem. We're Trisha and Jim.
It's your new sports bar for watching all your favorite sports. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, with $1.75 domestics and rails. For lunch or dinner, the kitchen is open. Half-price burgers on Mondays. Tuesday, it's bone or boneless wings. Fish tacos on Friday. Stop after the races tonight to hear live music. It's Joe Cody from 8 to midnight.
Jim and I'd love to see you at JT's Long Shots Sports Bar, downtown West Salem.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Jerry Beyer here, and I'm pleased to announce that we have opened a new location. Now you'll find our Big Bore Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and July Street every Wednesday through Sunday. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout.
And just come on down for the best food in town at Big Bore Barbecue.
Big Bore Barbecue, that's a mouthful.
Here we go, back to the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report with Doc and Dan.
Welcome back, race fans. It's the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report here on 1460 WBOG. Cool Gold, 1460.com, and on the TuneIn app. Now say it like Niles does.
Love that TuneIn app.
Along with Paul Reichert, I'm Radio Man Dan Diker, producer Jesse, standing in the wings as well. Big night of racing coming at La Crosse tonight. The late model Sportsman Thunderstocks, and one of my favorites, the Upper Midwest Vintage Series. You heard Moldy Moldenhauser talk about it earlier in the program, and it's one of those kind of nights. It's a huge, different edition mid-year, not fest year.
Yeah, it's always a great show no matter when it is. The Upper Midwest Vintage Series comes to town. They just put on a great show, reliving the past, seeing the cars you remember watching racing back in the 60s, 70s, 80s.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what shows up at La Crosse tonight. Big news coming out of NASCAR last week. Matt Kenseth kind of dropped a hint about 2 weeks ago that he was not going to be back in the number 20 next year. Then the big news came out, and the conversation on my Facebook this week was just huge. I mean, I've got about 40 comments on there. I said, one is in, one is out. What are your comments? And it just kept going from here. Eric Jones, of course, will be taking the seat of the number 20 next year. For Matt Kenseth, does not have a ride for 2018. Is this the end of MK?
Well, I'm hoping it isn't. I mean, it seems like he still has a few good years in him, still can get some wins here, and I'm just hoping he can still do it. I mean, it doesn't matter if he ends up taking Eric Jones's ride right now, or if he somehow goes to Hendrick. Who knows?
You know, that was one of the comments that I saw repetitively on Facebook this week. Eric Jones is one of the young guns. Hell, I watched the truck race 2 weeks ago. I didn't recognize 3/4 of the names in that truck race. These guys were all 18 years old. They're all with so-and-so Motorsports, so-and-so Motorsports. Oh, then there's Johnny Sutter, so-and-so Motorsports. Oh, there's Kyle Busch. It was so strange to see that. Is the faces of Matt Kenseth, are they done? Is this going to be a huge wave over the next 2 years of the young guns starting to take over NASCAR?
Well, I think it's starting here, like you've seen with Kyle Larson here this season in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. It's starting. Ryan Blaney's won. We're in Chase. We got to get him a win eventually here. So I think the wave is slowly starting to build up again.
You've seen 4 names over the past couple of years. Tony Stewart's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to be gone next year, retiring. Jeff Gordon was the first one to jump ship and is terrible in the booth. He's got to stop wearing purple. It looks horrible on him, by the way. Matt Kenseth could be on the way out next year. So there's 4 right off the bat, and they're being replaced with 3 youngsters now, 4 that have made themselves a name in racing.
Yeah, they sure have. I think we're pretty good with the next generation being the ones now taking over, and I certainly hope. I don't think the racing quality is going to suffer. I think they're doing a good job, just as much as the veterans have that are now no longer with us or might not be with us soon. I certainly think it's just as good as it is.
I think the biggest shocker next year. Now, Tony Stewart ran the 20. Matt Kenseth had run the 20. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has run the 88 forever. Junior hangs it up next year. Kenseth, who is not a big fan favorite to a lot. I mean, he's got a lot of haters out there.
Yeah.
What does that do to NASCAR if all of a sudden Kenseth is in the 88 car, which belongs to Junior? I mean, every time you think 88, it's Junior. It's Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
It's National Guard. Now you've got Matt Kenseth in the 88. Does that make it suffer a tad bit?
I don't know. It might happen. We might see
Strange
that.
to even have this conversation.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I know.
Matt Kenseth in the 88 car next year.
Yeah.
What? I think a lot of it's going to be funding, though. What does Matt Kenseth actually have behind him? Because he's had DeWalt and he's had Dollar General. He has not had anything really major past those two over years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and of course.
Look, they're not funding a full-time ride. They're almost part-time on both.
Yeah.
Does one of them fully fund the program next year? And if not, well, where does he get the funding from?
Yeah, I kind of wonder about that, about if Dollar General or I should say DeWalt is going to stick with the 20, sponsor Jones. Will Nationwide stick with Matt? I don't know. It's who knows where the funding will come from.
Who's the next to go? All right, and we're going to get Matt Kenseth on the program here in a couple of weeks because we always have him on at least once a year over the past 7 years. If Matt bows away and says, well, it's just time, because he's got some young kids that are growing up, who would be the next big name to you that would be ready to go, I'm going to look elsewhere?
Oh, man, I really haven't thought who might be next. I don't know who would be the next 10-year driver.
Why wouldn't it be Jimmy Johnson?
Well, I mean,
it's
that's
not like
true.
he hasn't accomplished anything.
He's done probably more than he ever dreamed of with all the 7 championships, with the 2 Daytona 500 wins. I think he'd be good, but he's I think like an extension like through, I want to say 2020 or something like that.
Yeah, he'll be around for quite a while.
Yeah.
And it's not like the NFL where they don't believe in contracts. Those things are broken. As much as you pick the wings of a fly, that's how fast the NFL breaks contracts. NASCAR's kind of, you never see anybody trying to weasel their way out of a contract or jumping out of a contract.
No, you really don't.
Well, I hope it doesn't happen. I'd like to see Matt stay around. I'm a homer. I always have been. If anybody ever asks me, well, who do you root for? I'm always rooting for Matt Kenseth. Paul Menard is going to be on the program here in the next couple of weeks as well. I'll watch Menard's progress. I'll watch the Menard's rides. I'll watch Matt Crafton, even though he just stunk it up here a couple of weeks ago in the Truck Series. Talking about the trucks, they're at Eldora here soon enough.
Yes, actually this coming Wednesday night, what do they call it now? They don't call it the Midsummer Classic anymore.
Which they should have stayed with that
name.
I
know, except baseball came in. And
I will be sitting in front of the TV watching that. As a matter of fact, I may go somewhere to get that on a big screen. Yeah. I remember a couple of years ago watching that very first one where NASCAR had the cameras placed in the ideal positions on that racetrack because you could see the front end scraping the mud. You could see the mud flinging up against the cameras. You could see these guys not being able to wheel a dirt car. Should Eldora and maybe another dirt track become of the NASCAR schedule permanently? They said Eldora is. Well,
with the trucks, but I'd like to see maybe a race. Go back to the days when they mainly raced on dirt tracks back in the 50s, 60s.
Would it help the fan base?
It might. I think it could.
I mean, you do have a divide.
Well,
I mean, if you're a race fan like me, I've announced it dirt and asphalt at the same time in the same year, so I don't care.
Yeah.
But you have some that it's either dirt or it's asphalt, and you get the jokes of who drives what to get to what track and all that kind of nonsense.
That thing,
I just kind of wonder if you put NASCAR or even Xfinity on dirt, if that would bring maybe some people to the other side.
Well, it'd be interesting to see them on the dirt here before they start thinking about maybe getting the Cup Series.
Well, you got to do what I did last weekend. Me and Billy Doc now stopped by JT's Long Shots after the races, had our fantastic Parmesan garlic wings. You're going to have to join us one of these nights.
Yes, one of these, yes.
And we both turned in our wristbands, signed them, and got involved in their contest. It is their Oktoberfest Race Weekend contest. Stop out of the races with your ticket stub or your pit pass that's on your arm. Put your name and number on it. That would be your car number, of course, and drop it in the box. This September, JT's is going to be drawing one lucky winner for a pass to all 4 days of Oktoberfest race weekend. JT's in historic downtown West Salem. Tell them Diker sent you and get the wings. When we come back, Paul Reichert is going to join us again with the Burning Rubber Race Report on the Whitetail Crossing Community Stores Race Report.
Are you looking for comfort under the sun? You can find that and a whole lot more with your stay at the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. The Days Inn has 148 spacious rooms, an indoor pool, hot tub, fitness room, and plenty of banquet space to host that big meeting or wedding reception. If you're hungry, food and drink are just steps away at the Heroes Bar and Grill inside the hotel. So if you're planning a pool party, wedding reception, or just want a night away in a jacuzzi suite, Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island is your stop under the sun.
Spring, spring, spring. Now that it's spring, no one wants to sit inside and watch TV with it so beautiful outside. And when you get DirecTV through Dean's Satellite and Security, you don't have to. You can now take your TV with you into the great outdoors with the free mobile app from DirecTV. Going on a picnic? Take your TV with you. Sitting by the lake? Don't miss your favorite show. It's really that simple. Call your local friends at Dean's Satellite and Security today at 608-269-2897 or visit them online at deanstv.com. Now get outside and watch your TV. Content, channels, and functionality varies by TV package, viewing location, and device. Data charges may apply. Conditions apply. Call for details.
For the best family entertainment value in the Dells area, look no further than Dells Raceway Park. Kids 9 and under are always free. Exciting stock car racing every Saturday night where the stars of tomorrow are racing today in late models, modified, sportsman, bandits, and more. Check the schedule online at DellsRacewayPark.com. Take a free tour of the pits and a lap around the track on race night in DRP's trolley car. Gates open at 4, qualifying at 5:30, green flag racing at 7. Don't miss the excitement every Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park. We're the best in the Midwest race.
Get ready. It's the Days Inn Burnin' Rubber Race Report with Paul Reichert. Brought to you by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. Now here's Paul with this week's report.
Hello again, race fans. It's Paul Reichert back with you, ready to bring you another edition of the Burning Rubber Race Report. After the break, we have a lot of results to talk about, including the kickoff of Indiana Sprint Week for the USAC Sprint Cars. A great week for the Litchfield family, not just for Mike, but for Steve as well. And a couple more first-time winners, and an end to a couple long winless routes this past week. All that and much more in the Burning Rubber Race Report coming up next.
Are you looking for comfort under the sun? You can find that and a whole lot more with your stay at the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. The Days Inn has 148 spacious rooms, an indoor pool, hot tub, fitness room, and plenty of banquet space to host that big meeting or wedding reception. If you're hungry, food and drink are just steps away at the Heroes Bar and Grill inside the hotel. So if you're planning a pool party, wedding reception, or just want a night away in a jacuzzi suite, Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island is your stop under the sun.
Hello again, race fans. This is Paul Reichert back with you for another edition of the Burning Rubber Race Report presented by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center. Let's check out the racing action from the past week. We'll start last Monday with the CRA Jegs All-Star Tour at Lebanon, Missouri for the Masters of the Pro 144. Cole Williams was the victor. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series was at Muskegon County Speedway in Zanesville, Ohio. Eddie Carrier Jr. scored the win. UMP Summer Nationals Hell Tour moved on to Quincy, Illinois Monday, and Brandon Shepard won again. That's now 4 in a row. USAC Midgets were at the Illinois State Fair Multipurpose Arena in Springfield. Tyler Courtney scored the victory. On Tuesday, holiday racing taking place at Marshfield. Round 2 of the Yellow River Racing Series happening. Dalton Zier the victor. And the UMP Summer Nationals Hell Tour moved on to Fayette County Speedway in Brownstown, Illinois. Make it 5 in a row for Brandon Shepard. On Thursday at Wisconsin International Raceway, Alex Stumpf won the Super Late Model Feature. Mike Meyerhofer took the Late Model Feature. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series was at Fayetteville, North Carolina. Chris Ferguson was the victor. Brandon Shepard's 5-race win streak on the Summer Nationals Hell Tour came to an end at Macon, Illinois. Last year's champ, Bobby Pierce, the victor. And the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars were at Deer Creek, back to finish the feature they just started the Thursday before, and Craig Kinzer came away with the victory, his first Outlaw feature win in 3 years. Friday at Golden Sands, Steve Litchfield won the Super Late Model feature, his first ever win. How about that? Eddie Hoffman won the Super Late Model feature at Grundy. Round 2 of the Super Late Model Triple Crown Challenge Series took place at Madison. Rich Buckle Jr. fought off Round 1 winner Dan Ferguson, and Brian Beal won the NASCAR Late Model feature. Keith Foss won the USRA Modified feature at Mississippi Thunder. Dalton Zier won the State Line Challenge race at the Norway Speedway up in Dayupia. At Red Cedar, Jesse Glenn's won the Wissota Late Model feature. Kevin Buzzy Adams took the Wissota Modified feature. Brad Wiles won the Modified feature Thomas Sparta Raceway. Dirt King's Late Model Tour and the IRA Sprints, both at the Dodge County Fairgrounds in Beaver Dam. Justin Hurt won the Late Model feature, and Terry McCarl the IRA Sprint feature. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series was at Cherokee Speedway in Gaffney, South Carolina. Brandon Overton the winner. UMP Summer Nationals Hell Tour moved on to Farmer City, Illinois Friday. Mike Marlar took the victory. Wissota Late Model Challenge Series at Rapids Speedway in Rock Rapids, Iowa. John Cantor the winner. And the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars were at Cedar Lake for a big two-night show Friday and Saturday, and a weekend sweep for Kerry Matson won the preliminary feature Friday and the big show on Saturday. Speaking of Saturday, at Deer Creek, the World of Outlaw Late Models were on hand for the Go for 50. Chris Matson the winner, and USMTS regular Rodney Sanders won the USRA Modified feature. At the Dells, they ran the Walbeck Classic. Mike Litchfeld, Quattro Quattro, Team Dean's driver, scored the win. At Elko, double features for the NASCAR Late Models went to Derek Lemke and Ryan Camish. Casey Johnson won the Late Model feature at Jefferson. Ian Matson, Kerry's brother, stayed home at Knoxville and won the 410 Sprint feature at La Crosse. Matt Henderson won the NASCAR Late Model feature. First win since 2009 for Matt. Welcome back, Matt. At Rice Lake, double features for the Wissota Late Models. A makeup feature from earlier in the season went to Mike Anderson. The regularly scheduled feature went to Mark Hessler. All-Star Circuit of Champions were at Sharon, Ohio. Fresh off his truck win at Kentucky, Christopher Bell won. Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross was at the WIC 338 in Southwick, Massachusetts. Eli Tomac swept both 450 motos again. ARCA ran at Iowa Saturday night. Dalton Sargent the winner. The Cars Tour was at Tri-County Motor Speedway in Hudson, North Carolina. Josh Berry won the Late Model feature. Matt Craig the Super Late Model feature. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series was at Smoky Mountain Speedway in Maryville, Tennessee. Jimmy Owens the winner. NASCAR K&N Pro East Series was at Thompson, Connecticut. Fourth win of the season for Harrison Burton. Northwest Super Late Model Series was at Meridian, Idaho. And how about this? Second female ever to win on that series. 15-year-old Brooke Schimmel scored the victory. Sweet Manufacturing Outlaw Super Late Model Series was at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan. Tyler Roרד came away with the win. Past North Tour at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway in Scarborough, Maine. Joey Polarczyk Jr. scored the victory. USAC Sprints kicked off their Indiana Sprint Week at Kokomo, Indiana Saturday night. Thomas Meserol the winner. UMP Summer Nationals Hill Tour went to Highland, Illinois Saturday. Bobby Pierce the winner. On Sunday at Slinger, final tour for the Super Late Models before the Slinger Nationals, which happens this coming Tuesday. Dennis Prunty's ready. He won the feature, and Ryan Goodneck won his fourth Late Model feature of the season. Badger Midgets and POWRI Midgets both at Angel Park for the Pepsi Nationals. Zach Daum scored the victory. CRA Jigs All-Star Tours at Kilcare Speedway in Xenia, Ohio. First-time winner alert, Carson Hocevar the winner. Red Bull Global Rally Cross at the Brickyard on Sunday. Scott Speed the winner. UMP Summer Nationals Hell Tours at Kickapoo Motor Speedway in Danville, Illinois. Jason Feger the winner. And night two for the USAC Sprints Indiana Sprint Week taking place at Lawrenceburg. CJ Leary was your winner. And that'll do it for this edition of the Burning Rubber Race Report presented by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center. I'm Paul Reichert. We'll talk to you folks next week.
That's the Days Inn Burning Rubber Race Report with Paul Reichert, brought to you by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse.
In a hurry, it's easy to stop. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. You're gonna like the things we've got. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. It's easy to see when you're on the go. There's only one name you need to know.
Baraboo, Black River Falls, Nakusa, Toma, Wittenberg.
Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Jerry Beyer here, and I'm pleased to announce that we have opened a new location. Now you'll find our Big Boar Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and July Street every Wednesday through Sunday. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout.
And just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
Big Boar Barbecue, that's a mouthful.
Spring, spring, spring. Now that it's spring, no one wants to sit inside and watch TV with it so beautiful outside. And when you get DirecTV through Dean's Satellite and Security, you don't have to. You can now take your TV with you into the great outdoors with the free mobile app from DirecTV. Going on a picnic? Take your TV with you. Sitting by the lake? Don't miss your favorite show. It's really that simple. Call your local friends at Dean's Satellite and Security today at 608-269-2897 or visit them online at deanstv.com. Now get outside and watch your TV. Content, channels, and functionality varies by TV package, viewing location, and device. Data charges may apply. Conditions apply. Call for details.
Come on in. Welcome to JT's Long Shots in West Salem. We're Tricia and Jim.
It's your new sports bar for watching all your favorite sports. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, with $1.75 domestics and rails. For lunch or dinner, the kitchen is open. Half-price burgers on Mondays. Tuesday, it's bone or boneless wings. Fish tacos on Friday. Stop after the races tonight to hear live music. It's Joe Cody from 8 to midnight.
Jim and I'd love to see you at JT's Long Shots Sports Bar, downtown West Salem.
There's the white flag. One more lap on Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on Cool Gold 1460.
Welcome back one more time. The Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report, along with Paul Reichert, the Burn and Rubber Race Report guy. I'm Radio Man Dan Diker, the guy that announces the races at the Lacrosse Speedway. Last segment of the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report here in 1460 WBOG, coolgold1460.com, and on the cell phone, it's called the TuneIn app.
Love that TuneIn app.
He actually does that better than Niles does. I'm going to point that out to Niles when he's listening to it, some kind of fest rock thing he's up in somewhere here in Wisconsin. Tonight, it's late models, Sportsman, Thunder Stocks, and the Vintage Series. Late models, it's no longer Nick Panitsky. Steve Carlson, Matt Henderson reared his head last weekend. Brad Powell came close. Jeremy Wagner got a heat race win and also came close. Do we find another shift in who wins this race tonight?
Yeah, we might. I mean, we had Jesse Poxick win a few weeks ago, and his biggest win ever, and you never know. It just might happen. I don't know who could be next. So,
sportsman-wise, does Bachman have the monkey off of his shoulder?
Well, he got the feature monkey off his back, but now try to get that championship. He just has to hope for some bad luck for Randy Humfeld here, but it's still some time to get that happen.
Randy Humfeld has that stranglehold on the point standings. The Thunder Stocks again, Adam Moore. Another weekend starting in the trunk, but he's won from back there, so what's new?
That's nothing new for him, yeah.
Well, Vintage Series coming up tonight, and I tell you what, I love not only the cars that show up. I mean, I have been in love with this class since my very first year announcing Oktoberfest at Lacrosse Speedway, but the drivers. I mean, some of these guys have been racing for 40, 50 years. Woody Poole's in his early 70s. He's been racing since he was like 15 years old. He's trying to become the first vintage driver to win 3 straight Oktoberfest races, too. That's going to be interesting because word is he could step away after this year.
Yeah, that would be the best way to go out to win a third straight time at Oktoberfest. Man, he's already won at the Dells a few weeks ago, so he's looking pretty good.
Of course, talking vintage, Dells Raceway Park, of course, they've got a vintage-type class coming out tonight.
Yeah, the what is it called? The CWRA Stars to Legends show that's going to feature a salute to Tom Refner and Marv Arzofka, the men behind the Dick Trickle Memorial Project.
And, of course, have you seen that project lately?
Yeah, I keep up with it on Facebook.
Wow, is that a beautiful, beautiful outdoor facility?
Yeah, it is. It's looking good.
Got to get up there one of these days as well. Want to thank all the sponsors of the program. I got to thank Bill Doc Niles, who's up at Starstruck Fest or something like that. I think he's trying out for Dancing with the Stars with a broken beer bottle in his hand. Scott Moldenhauser, you're going to be seeing him tonight at the Upper Midwest Vintage Racing Series at Lacrosse Speedway. I got to thank Drew Krybeck with the Tundra Super Late Models. And now, what row were you sitting in when the Tundras came to town 2 weeks ago?
I was sitting in my usual spot.
See, now, Paul used to sit out by turn 4 with the big straw hat on.
Yeah.
And I would always see him. Remember that? Jesse's going, I remember that guy. And he's one that's got like 4 cases of beer. He's dragging behind him to go find Dee and Paul Euler in turn 4 to give me the thumbs up. Well, he's retired from that spot. Now he's the brave man. I got a dirt track, how you never want to sit in the corner because you're going to go home with 4 pounds of dirt in your chest. Paul's right there in the front straightaway eating shards of tire.
Yes, I am. But I like getting a little dirty going to the dirt tracks.
And, of course, we see him down every week. You know, I had somebody ask me, we're quickly before the show's done, they watch you take notes. What are you taking notes of during races?
Well, actually, I'm keeping track of the qualifying and keeping track of the races, just timing the top 3, seeing how they're running and how everyone's racing out there.
You know what I equate that to? Old-timers at baseball games that always fill out box scores in the middle of the program.
Yes.
For what reason do you do that? You know what's going on in the game. You don't have to look down and see what an F5 was. You don't need to see what happened here. It's very easy. The PA announcer, now coming to bat, Dan Diker. His stats are on the scoreboard. Why look at your sheet? Because it's something they've done since they were kids. And I watch everybody at lacrosse that does that same thing. It's just a pattern you can't get rid of.
Yeah, it isn't. That's just been something I've been doing for about 15 years here, and just love doing it.
Now watch, one of these nights, Jesse and I are going to be having a 6-pack and some Doritos. We're going to be watching the show Hoarders, and they're going to be busting into Reichert's house. What is this 15 million pounds of notebooks doing out here? Paul just boots them out. Throws a tune-in at him. I want to thank everybody to join us on the program here. If you have not joined us on the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report Facebook page, I would encourage you to do so. Matter of fact, we gave away a go-kart pass and 2 tickets to tonight's race. I still have a whole box of Truck Series prizes to give away. Got some gift cards from JT's Long Shots. Just add yourself to the Facebook, and they can also find your report daily or weekly on
yeah. I post it usually every Monday or Tuesday morning, and you can check it out, see what other results I didn't mention on the radio show here, and it's just been a love for me to do that.
Well, he's been a great addition to the program. That is the Burning Rubber guy, Paul Reichert. Billy Doc Niles coming back from Fest Rocking Stars of the Dancing. Next weekend, we'll see how sunburned and bigger he got. And, of course, I got to go to the Vintage Series at Lacrosse tonight. Thanks for joining us in the program. The Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report on Facebook. Find it and add yourself. Have yourself a great night, folks. And remember to support your local short tracks. This is 1460 WBOG.
There's the checkered flag. Join us again next week for the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on Cool Gold 1460, brought to you by Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores in Baraboo, Black River Falls, and Toma. By Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, and 3rd Street, downtown La Crosse. By Dean Satellite and Security, your local DirecTV retailer. By the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. By Dell's Raceway Park in Wisconsin Dells. By Weir's Machine and Racing Products in Bangor, Wisconsin. And by JT Long Shots Grill and Saloon in historic downtown West Salem. It's the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on Cool Gold 1460.